Yeah, I want to talk about Fraggle Rock. I mean,
Dude, it was ask questions.
well, I mean, look, I was a fan of Fraggle Rock when I was a kid. My thing is, I grew up in Quebec, in a very small town in Quebec, where we only had 2 TV channels. So Fraggle Rock for me was a French experience, not an English experience. So even when I watched the trailer, I'm like, oh, like it looks like Fraggle Rock, but it doesn't sound like Fraggle Rock to me, right? And Rob is all like, oh my God, it's Fraggle Rock.
I'm like, Ben's posting about Fraggle Rock. We got to ask him about that.
So, I mean, first of all, it doesn't look like it's a reboot at all. It's a continuation of Fraggle Rock. It looks like it's exactly it's the same totally characters and
watch the very last episode of the 80s and it's gonna tie in so tightly. This is gonna blow you away. I absolutely loved it when I was going through some of the scripts for that.
Now, what was your role on Fraggle Rock?
I was in props and I ended up sort of working. Doozer World would be the best way to explain what I did. So a lot of the vehicles that you see them in, remember, I didn't design any of this. I'm not like, I'm an okay artist, but I'm not the art department. The art department does the conceptual stuff. And so we were tasked with building what they drew up. And like, there's some great Doozer vehicles in the trailers that you see. There's the monorail in the background. That's, build that up and get it so it moves. And we didn't have enough time originally to have it powered. So the first few episodes they're going to be hand pulled until we could get motors into it. But we had other fish to fry. It was a bit of a struggle at some points. But
because you had to recreate a lot of the original sets as well for this. All of the original sets. I mean, none of the sets existed anymore, right? Like,
yeah. As far as I know, but yeah, they were all built from scratch, and this, they look like, but they aren't necessarily exactly like the originals. Right. But there's the pool and the concept and the cave. It's all there.
Are they all new puppets?
Most of them are, but there were. I know of 3 for sure that were the old puppets. I'm not going to say which ones and stuff, partly because I know what they look like and I know where they belong, but I can't tell you their names. At the same time, most of that stuff, these puppets they're old, and no, not many were used.
Rob, do you know their names?
No, I can't. I can't list the names right now.
Well, no. None of the main characters that I'm aware of. How about that? Some of the smaller creatures, and they weren't the Doozers either. Doozers, we saw some of the old Doozers, and wow, they're old.
Yeah, that's
definitely not using those things, right? But the same armatures, the same mechanisms, so the motions and everything do match exactly, because as far as the skeletons go, they are the same.
That's one of the things I noticed when I was watching the trailer, is that when you watch them move, they look like they moved back then. Like the physical movements look identical as what they were back then, which I think was amazing.
And even like a lot of that was, remember, that's out of the Doozers themselves. That was like the creature shop. They would deal with the Doozers. I was working on more of the, if things were moving and stuff, so vehicles and that sort of stuff.
Right.
But when I looked at some of the Doozers and everything, the same radio control mechanisms and everything was still there. And like, when you think back, like, 30 years when this closed down, that sort of science and everything is still valid and useful today. And I don't know of many technologies that were so advanced back then that they can pull their weight now. Like, you look at this and I really admire the puppeteers and the people that designed these things, because, like, wow, they were really cool.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob. I can see you want to ask a question there. Go right ahead. Jump right in.
No, I didn't have any question, but I agree with you. The puppeteering is really cool. And I love that, they're doing that. There's so many options to do movies now, and that they could have recreated this as an animation or some sort of, and in fact, to go back to those old technology like that. And it gives you that same feeling that I got from Ghostbusters, where it felt authentic and continuation of the continuity, and that's what it looks like we're going to get out of Fraggle Rock, perhaps the same type of feeling.
Because let's be honest,
Well,
they could have totally used like Unreal 5 to recreate Fraggle Rock in complete CG and make it look like they're puppets, but it being all CG. That would have been
wouldn't be
easy
the
for them to
same.
do.
It wouldn't
But
be
it
the
wouldn't
same.
be the
And
same.
the thing is that Henson has sort of like a standing order that everything gets done in camera, right? Like there
Mhm.
is a few blue screen and green screen. Blah, I'll learn to talk one day. Blue screen and green screen situations, but past that, everything's live in the camera, and that's kind of what gives you that feel, right?
And this is a Jim Henson production.
Yeah.
And is it Apple TV?
I think it's Apple TV.
Yes, it is.
that's coming
It's
out.
Apple
It is
Yeah.
Apple TV,
Yeah.
and it is a series, right? So it's not a movie. It's an
That's right.
actual. Do you know how many episodes we're gonna get? Has that been
I
announced?
feel like
Um,
13.
I don't know if it's been 13. Okay, so since you said that, it does sound right. I can neither confirm nor deny that.
I think I
wasn't there
Googled
for
it.
the full run. Yeah, I wasn't there for the full run. I was only there at the very beginning. I had a different job offer, and I had to go and take that one partway through. But it wasn't yeah. So yeah, I got the sort of the first block. So the first 4 episodes had a lot of my fingers in it, and then the remainder, there's still some of the stuff I worked on in them, but less Ben in there, I guess.
Thanks for watching this Geek Boutique podcast snippet. If you'd like to listen to the full episode, head on over to either geekboutique.podbean.com or your favorite podcast platform of choice. Please make sure you click that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to also click the notification bell. That way you'll make sure you never miss an upload. But that'll be it for today. Stay geeky, everybody. I'll see you next time.